Hey there, Dango Stu here. This morning we're off to the Sydney International Boat Show. This year the show is spread across two locations. All the on-water stuff's in Cockle Bay, which is where we are now. So we're going to go and have a look at some sailing boats to start with, and then we'll head over to Glebe Island where the exhibition centre is.
Across the ballroom floor, you glide.
Got a spare $750,000 on it. My wife and I are looking at some multi-hull sailing boats at the moment because we've got a bit of a plan for a couple of years down the track to go and do some cruising around, some sailing cruising.
The glass slipper falls from your foot, running and stumbling into the darkness. An audience to watch you fall from grace. Down the hall, your broken heart races, searching for comfort, a quiet place to kneel.
I wonder if they're coming green.
What we're showing is how the Seakeeper 5, what we have down here, actually reduces the roll of the boats. It's a little working model we have. For the Seakeeper to work, what it actually needs is the sphere or the gyro to be able to process forward and aft. If the gyro is actually locked, it becomes very, very tender and there's no torque being applied back to the hull. As we release the braking mechanism, the gyro processes forward and aft, it's creating a resistance to roll. If you'd like to roll that up and down as such, see how easy, just keep getting a nice even frequency on it. I release the brakes, get going. As I release the brakes, you'll feel a difference. As I said, our goal is to take between 70 and 90% of the rest of the roll out of the boat.
That made a huge difference. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
From your fall, running and stumbling into the darkness. An audience to watch you fall from grace. Down the hall, your broken heart races, searching for comfort, a quiet place to kneel.
Alright Ben, can you tell me about your little invention here?
Freewheeling is a brand new product that we designed over the last 18 months. It's a hand-powered outboard motor designed for small dinghies, tenders, inflatables, punts, just to travel short distances to get where you need to go.
Yeah.
So it's got a 3-to-1 ratio gearbox in it here, so every one turn of the handle is 3 on the propeller. And it's the diameter and the pitch of the propeller that gives it the performance. It's
So most of your R&D kind of went into getting the right pitch, the right diameter, the right gear ratio.
exactly, without making it too hard to turn,
Yes.
or likewise without going fast enough as far as the speed goes. When you're turning the handle about that pace, you're about 3.5, 4 knots.
Nice, yeah.
So compared to rowing, it's about 2 knots for
right.
rowing. So the whole product takes up a lot less room as far as a pair of oars go, leaves a lot more room in your boat.
Get to see where you're going.
You get to see where you're going as opposed to where you've been. And likewise, there's a turning facility,
So you can steer as well.
Little lock-off rub screw there. You can lock it, and and a lot of fishermen, for example, like to just keep it there to trawl.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I'm getting duck hunters using it.
Okay,
I'm getting fishermen obviously.
I was going to
using
ask you
it.
who your target market is. So they're
It's really boaties going to their bigger boat. But
So tender
likewise
mostly,
is what we designed it for.
Yeah.
But since then, we've got fishermen,
finding all
all
sorts of
over
new
it.
users.
I've actually got some SAS people in overseas
Nice and quiet.
using it as well. It's completely quiet.
Yeah.
So
no running out of fuel.
No batteries, no
Yeah.
oil, no
Yeah.
maintenance,
Nothing,
no
yeah.
nothing. It's simple
Nice.
and easy to use.
Fantastic. Oh, thanks, man.
Thank you very much.
Oh, g'day, Eddie from Allsat Communications. So this is our electronic distress flare. It's designed to replace the red pyrotechnic flare that you have. 11-year shelf life on this little guy. It can be seen for up to 7 miles. So these are actually LEDs set at 30 degrees. Hold it up 6+ hours on a cold day. Great thing to have. Other products we've got, Man Overboard. World's smallest again. This will chirp out on AIS and DSC to your VHF radio. Pretty much a must for all sailing vessels. Personal locator beacon, once again the world's smallest. 7-year battery life on this little guy. So this will be much the same as an EPIRB, but it'll transmit on 406 megahertz, which is distress signal through to maritime safety. And of course our last product is our EPIRB, once again, world's smallest. 10-year battery life on this guy. Same thing again, 406 megahertz to AMSAR.
And that one had the internal aerial you were saying before?
Exactly right, yeah. So both our products here have an internal aerial, so they're not wrapped around the outside of the item. We do also have removable bracket and our 5-metre lanyard nicely tucked away out of the weather as well.
Oh, thanks, Eddie.
No problem at all. Good on you, thanks.
I knew you'd all want to see a few outboard motors, so I headed over to the Yamaha stand where they had this amazing cutaway outboard. The whole front, the whole motor was cut away, right down to even the propeller cut in half, so it was pretty incredible to have a look at that. After checking that out, I started talking to all the major manufacturers of outboards. The room's very noisy, as you can probably imagine, and the mic I had probably wasn't ideal for that situation, so there's a lesson for me. But what I've done is I've transcribed the whole video, and to turn that on, you just click a little button labelled CC that's in the bottom right of the video, and then you'll get subtitles for the whole thing that'll hopefully help you understand what's being said.
Hey Grant, how you going?
Hey, good.
Good. What can you tell me about Yamaha outboards?
Yeah, look, we're here at the show today with
Yep.
a full range of outboards. We make 4-stroke and a range of 2-stroke outboards from 2.5 right up to our big V8
Yeah, right, okay.
350. What really sets our outboards apart is we focus on marine-specific engine development,
Right, yeah.
and we try and be very innovative. We're bringing a lot of new product to market all the time. Really focusing on that 4-stroke range at the moment.
Okay, yep.
But again, as I said, we're also with a 2-stroke range for those customers who need that.
Do you see the 4-stroke as slowly taking over from the 2-stroke market?
Well, I guess I'm probably not used to term slowly. It has taken over
Right,
the
yeah,
2-stroke
okay,
market.
yeah.
We're seeing anything from 30 horsepower and up really already has moved to 4-stroke.
Okay.
And even our small 4-strokes now, they're that good. They're lightweight.
Yes.
They're easy to carry. They're really improved and really setting them up for lightning.
And does Yamaha still have the CB range? That was the sort of consumer value, were they?
Yeah, we still sell a range of those consumer value engines. Simple designs, very reliable.
Easy to work on,
Easy to work
which I like.
on. Yeah, originally designed for kind of that Pacific Island where they had limited tools to keep these engines
Exactly,
running.
which I think is a really nice concept for a
Yeah,
motor.
and it translates well to just your general user as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But our main motors now we focus on our F70, which is a really class-leading motor. Super lightweight and a fantastic motor for new boats but also repowers.
I noticed a lot of the weights have really been dropping. How is that weight being taken off?
Look, I think it's just the development of the engines, the materials, the componentry that goes into them.
Yeah, right.
Changing from things like the tilt trim units to a single ram design.
Right,
Things like that make a big difference. Also using composite cowlings as well.
Okay, yeah, saving weight there. Just a few grams here and there, and it all adds up, I guess, in the end.
Yeah. The big thing for Yamaha, it's always been reliability.
Yes.
We've been in the market a very long time in Australia.
Yes.
Our reputation's been built in years of great customer experiences. It's something we're very proud of.
So I must admit, where we live, I live on the Hawkesbury River, and when you stood at a marina, you would see 2 of one brand, 8 Yamahas. It was just such a dominant brand for a long, long time. I mean, slowly I think a mixture's coming in as more dealers open up locally, but there was a period there where it was the default choice, and I think often that did come down to reliability. People just went, as commuters, we use our boats every single day, and you need to turn the key, you need to start, and that really was why most people bought Yamahas.
Look, there's no doubt it's a competitive market, but we still have the lion's share of the market. It's going very well. We've got a very strong dealer network. We've got great dealers in all major capital cities and regional centres, offering really great support for outboards and great service. And that's probably one of the most important things. Customers really need that proper backup.
Yes, I do think the after sales is a huge part of it. My experience so far has been that, as with cars, there aren't so many lemons anymore. There's a few new brands coming in. You take all the dominant Suzukis, the Yamahas, they're all well-made motors by and large. I think a lot of people feel that aftermarket experience is what makes or breaks whether they tell someone you should buy what I bought.
That's right, it's the aftermarket service, and I always say to people, an outboard motor, of course it's going to look great in the showroom, it's going to look great at the boat show, but let's have a look at it in 5 years, let's have a look at it in 10 years. Exactly. That's the thing that customers need to look at when they're choosing an outboard, because it's not a small investment.
No, that's it. And it was interesting also, I was looking recently for a new sort of 50 horsepower for my boat, and I was amazed at how similar the prices were. I think about the 8.8 seemed to be a really common price. And so, as you say, the best part of 10 grand essentially, it's not a small investment. And if you can have that running in 10, 20 years' time, then it's $1,000 a year boating, and it's actually reasonably good value.
Yeah, and the prices are competitive, but when you look at the fine details of those engines, there's a lot of differences.
There is a lot of difference.
For example, ours in that category is a 4-cylinder. Others make a 3-cylinder.
I don't understand.
Lots of little things like that.
So notice the E-Techs were a 2-cylinder still, so it's...
lots of different configurations, and the customers need to look at those things carefully, what's going to work best for them.
What do you think is the advantage of a 4-cylinder over, say, a 3-cylinder Honda, or...
In terms of that particular horsepower, I think the smoothness.
Yeah, just a more balanced motor.
More balanced motor. Yeah. Also, I mean, our 1560 are very strong torquey motors.
Yes, yeah.
So really good.
So it's a torque curve that changes with it.
I mean, from my experience, those boats in that 4.5 metre range, those 50-60 are just absolutely
All right, well, thank you very much for your time.
That's all right.
Thanks. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you.
We're here now with Trevor from Tohatsu. Hey, Trevor. Hey, so what can you tell me about Tohatsu motors?
Well, probably over the last 5 or 6 years, they've sort of expanded the range quite a bit. They've brought in a broader range of 4-stroke motors.
Yep.
They now produce 4-strokes from 3.5 through to 50 horsepower in their own right. They have an agreement with Honda Outboards to produce from 60 through to 200.
Right, okay, so the high end.
That's right. Yeah,
and the low end for Mercury?
Tohatsu still produce outboards that cover the Mercury range up to 30 horsepower.
30, yeah.
They also do up to 15 horsepower for BRP product.
Right, okay, for the Evinrudes.
That's right, yeah. Gotcha. So they produce upwards of around 175,000 units a year now.
Yeah.
Tohatsu factory.
Yeah, they're a huge manufacturer now. So,
this year's our 60th anniversary.
Oh, okay.
They produced the first one back in 1956.
Yep, right.
This year is the 60th anniversary. Okay. Yeah, we had the chairman out last week.
Okay, yeah. Come to celebrate.
That's right. Yeah. And I put together some merchandise material to celebrate the 60th anniversary.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, well, thanks, Trevor. We'll go and have a look at that as well then.
They still produce the traditional 2-stroke range.
Yes.
From 3.5 through to 90 horsepower.
And they're all oil injected now, or a mixture of?
Mixture of the two. There's pre-mixed and oil injected. Yeah. They do still do the direct injection as well.
Right, okay.
40 through to 150.
Yep.
Which is it's a compromise between the 2-stroke and the 4-stroke. You get the fuel economy out of the direct injection.
Yes.
But you also get the lifeblood of the 2-stroke.
And is that similar technology to an E-Tech outboard?
It's similar technology to your Optimax injection systems.
Okay.
Going back quite some time ago now, Mercury and Tohatsu had an agreement with Orbital Engine Technologies in Western Australia.
Yep.
He produced the fuel injection system. The two companies took it back to their own manufacturing plants and put them into their own units.
That's right. So they have a sort of common ancestry.
That's right.
Yeah.
For those particular motors.
Yeah. Nice.
That's where we're at. Recent models they brought out with the 34-stroke in the full model.
Okay. Yep.
Yep. They've also brought out the 4050 four-stroke, which is probably their powerhouse at the moment because it's such a unique motor. It's the lightest 4050 on the market.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was actually lighter than even the E-Tex were, which I was expecting the E-Tex to be lighter by far.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the way they're looking. They're designing outboards to, I suppose, replace two-stroke in due course, but still have a relatively light motor that people can...
So how do they get that motor to be so light?
Oh, it's a combination of the actual covers, the engine technology itself, everything right through to the gearbox.
So basically save a few grams everywhere and it all adds up?
That's right, that's what they do. They go through the whole motor. It takes them time to get a new unit out on the marketplace, but when it's out, it's beautiful.
It's solid and ready to go.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. Thanks very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
See you. So thanks, David.
No worries.
Good fun. So you could tell us something about Mercury outboards and what you think makes them best.
Yeah, look, I guess the biggest thing for us with Mercury is we have a range of two-stroke and four-stroke outboards. What's been really great for us is the new technology four-stroke engines, particularly something like this 150 here. What's so great about Mercury engines there, in this 150 it's a big capacity engine, but also very lightweight, so you get that really good power to weight ratio.
The boat as well.
Yeah, so you know, for someone looking to repower or buy a new boat, it's really great performance.
You might actually better clear up for me. I've heard somebody mention that Mercury blocks now use less copper in the casters just because of using a sort of a foam injection sort of molding technique.
Yeah, actually, Mercury actually has the lowest copper content in our alloys. It's a patented alloy, and because of that, low copper content really helps with corrosion resistance. And Mercury is actually the only manufacturer who has a 3-year corrosion warranty.
Yeah, right. That's good. The channel that I do covers a lot of outboard maintenance. One thing that seems really hard to fix, you can always replace, ignition coil, whatever, but once the block's corroded it's a big job. So
it's that 3-year corrosion warranty. We have a 3 plus 2 year product warranty. So if you get your engine serviced at the 100-hour maintenance intervals, you'll get 5 years.
Hey Mark, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Alright, you tell me about Honda outboards.
Honda Outboard, we've been manufacturing outboards for a long time now. They've got the industry-leading 7-year warranty.
Right, yeah.
We've also got a lot of technology in our motors. A lot of other companies don't, like blast technology, which increases the their fuel ratio down low to get them out of the hole.
So look at the whole shots of them.
Yeah. Also got very good charging capability, and they're very good in a commercial environment.
I think I did notice that. We were looking at the specs, and the Honda had quite a high output on the
amperage.
For
charging the batteries. A lot of people run sounders
and everything.
So, you don't need your battery going flat.
And it was actually interesting seeing the range between the lowest current output and the highest current output. It's actually quite significant.
Yeah, there is a big difference.
And Hondas, so you. Mostly 4-stroke range now?
We only build, Honda's only
ever done 4-strokes, haven't they? Yeah.
So from 1964 we've been doing motors, so we brought out the first 4-strokes.
Right, So Honda's always just said 4-stroke?
4-stroke, that's
right
it.
From
we
scratch,
sort of started with 4-stroke many years ago, and then everyone sort of said they're big and they're heavy, but that's the way that it's going now with the environment. They're also up to 50% better on fuel over a carbureted 2-stroke.
And they're mostly EFI now?
Yeah, all our motors are EFI from 40 horsepower up to 250. Anything below that they are still carburetted. But eventually they probably will go to the fuel injection.
And I actually have a Honda 4-stroke myself now, 40 horsepower. And it's a 3-cylinder. Are they mostly 3-cylinder around that range?
Our 40s are 3-cylinder. Once we get up into a 75 up to our 100, they're a 4-cylinder. Our 115 to 150 are 4-cylinder as well. And once we get up above to 175 up, they're all V6.
Excellent. And so, obviously you guys have a lot of confidence to put a 7-year warranty on.
Yeah, 7-year, we've only brought that out just over 12 months ago now. And we did actually have a 3-year, then we went to 5, then we have a 7-year now. Yeah, so we've got a lot of confidence in our product, and we find that, a lot of the times if we do have a problem, it's probably from lack of servicing or something like that, or hitting something else, so it's actually not a warranty thing.
Warranty item, really.
Yeah, but we do stand behind our 7-year warranty. It's a factory-backed warranty.
And is the 7-year warranty it's like a 5+2, or is there, what are the provisos
it's
to
a
it?
5-year warranty, but it's a 7-year warranty. You get your Honda service on your Honda dealership.
Which because often most people are offering like 3+2, so it's still only 3 unless you have it serviced. Right,
and also in commercial applications now we have a 3-year warranty, but if you don't get it serviced, it goes back to 1 year.
1 year, 12 months. So commercial being like a water taxi.
Water taxi, use of the maritime.
Yeah, gotcha.
Council applications, anything like that.
Right, okay. But anyone's got their own fishing boat or whatever, they get the full.
Yeah, that's it. If it's a recreational boat, it gets the full 7-year warranty.
And so, what are the newest outboards in your range?
We've got a 250 now, which is drive-by-wire. We've also got an 80 and a 100.
Yep.
We've also brought out a white 250 now, which is only in limited supply. We've got one on another stand on display.
Yeah. And the fly-by-wire, is that an NMEA sort of arrangement?
No, NMEA controls your. It basically gives a readout of the engine for your temperatures and your fuel flows and all that. So drive-by-wire is actually the shift and the throttle is actually electronically controlled by a wire system, similar to a lot of cars are.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And do you think that's going to be a way the industry's moving?
Yeah, I think it's coming in on a lot of the other companies have got it down to about 150 now. I think Yamaha have it down to about 200. Eventually we'll bring it down, but it's all a cost and an R&D.
So currently the high end and
250 at the moment.
Yeah. All right, so well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Hey, great. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Okay, tell me about Suzuki.
Well, Suzuki is one of the big brands that are moving forward in Australia. They've been distributed here for the last 13 or so years by the Prince Group.
Yep.
Both in Australia and New Zealand.
Yep.
And the brand's just growing in popularity all the time. We've got a very large commercial sector using the brand now.
Yep.
So, your a lot of your water police, volunteer marine rescues, coast guards, marine rescue, those sort of people.
And so they're generally the high end of the range, are they?
Yeah, it's mostly up in the bigger horsepower range, although they do have some of the mid-range product as well. But mostly bigger stuff, particularly being rescue boats and that sort of
thing. The big cats and that sort of
that's
thing.
right.
Yeah,
exactly. So we have a few features on our motors that are unique. We call ourselves the world's best four-stroke.
Yep.
And the reason we do that is we feel that we have a lot of features that probably give us a bit of an advantage over some of our competitors.
Can you tell me about some of those?
Yeah. There's a couple of things, but one of the things that's unique to Suzuki that we've had for a while is an offset drive shaft.
Mm-hmm.
So traditionally, on most outboards, your drive shaft comes up and goes straight into your crankshaft.
Into the power head, yeah.
With ours, the crankshaft is offset forward through driven gears down through the drive shaft.
Yep.
Two things that does is it moves your weight further forward on your transom. So, you've got more weight in a better part of the boat rather than hanging
over the transom,
It also gives you a double reduction.
Okay, yep.
That allows us to swing a bigger diameter propeller.
Yep.
And what that does, obviously you move more water, it makes it more efficient. So we have the biggest diameter propellers in the
for that low end takeoff.
That's
as well,
right. That torque out of the water.
Yeah, for the whole shot.
A couple of other things. We don't use rubber drive belts.
Timing belts.
Timing belts.
Yep.
We use timing chain.
Yep.
It's fully immersed in oil with a chain tension.
Okay. Yep.
And it virtually never needs maintenance.
So for the lifetime of the motor.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
And probably the other big thing in our models, most of them now have a feature called lean burn.
Yep.
And to put it simply, whilst all four strokes are fuel efficient and more fuel efficient than a two-stroke, these take it to the next level. And what it basically is a very smart computer. And it monitors what fuel's going into the engine, the fuel-air mixture. And as the engine travels along, it can meter it much more precisely to give you the absolute best economy that you can get.
And do outboards ever have a O2 sensor or something in the exhaust? Is it all done?
Yes, we do have O2 sensors in
some
of our motors.
So we'll actually then monitor back and...
Absolutely, yeah. It's all part of what goes back into the ECM or the brain. And that tells it exactly, what temperature. With the lean burn, the way it works is that if it can monitor that it can use a bit less fuel, to not cause any heat build-up, etc.
So start burning valves or
That's
whatever,
right. It'll shut it back, put a bit more fuel in, and it monitors it precisely.
Okay.
We've had that now for a few years, and it's working very, very well.
And what sort of range does Suzuki have in the outboards?
We go right up to 300 horsepower at the moment. So from the little 2.5 to
Right,
their
so right down to the
300.
bottom, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We do know about a bigger one coming, but we can't tell you much about that yet.
It's a secret, we'll hold it for that one.
Well, we don't know. The
Right,
factory's not telling us too
Oh,
much.
okay.
We do know it's coming.
Right, okay. Nice.
It shouldn't be too far.
And the whole range of 4-strokes for Suzuki exclusively?
We have 2-strokes available in
Still,
the range.
yeah.
But to be honest with you, we do believe that 2-strokes slowly is going to be a thing
Going the way of the
past,
dodo, it's just,
all our focus and the factory's focus is on 4-stroke.
Just better 4-stroke technology.
Better 4-stroke technology. And it has been that way for a little while. We do have 2-strokes available, but all of our technology is put into
all the R&D is going into the 4-strokes now as well. And what's the warranty on the Suzuki range?
The 4-strokes all carry a 5-year warranty, right from the 2.5 to the 300. And we do have commercial warranties as well for commercial users, varying depending on the user.
Yeah, gotcha. What application you've got.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
No trouble. Thank you.
About the sea legs.
So sea legs, we are the system. So we've got our own series of boats. This one's a little bit different. This one's a Stablecraft that we've adapted to fit the sea leg system on it. So this particular model has only been out for 1 year. But sea legs boats, we've been around for over 10 years. And got more than 1,000 boats worldwide. So this is our next stage for taking the company forwards, is by putting our technology on other people's boats.
So you sell them a system, they mount it.
So yes, yes, and we're working with a number of boat builders around the world now to access different markets for different types of boats.
And it's like, it looks like hydraulic motors in each wheel. Is that the technology?
So, all 3 wheels have hydraulic motors as well as rams. So inside the boat there, we've got a 22 horsepower air-cooled Honda. So and that spins a 3-stage hydraulic pump. So and that gives you your legs up and down and the boat forward and backwards.
Excellent. And so who's your main market for this sort of thing?
So there's a couple in the commercial side of it, mostly around flood rescue, Coast Guard, emergency response. And like for example in Australia here, we've got 5 boats in ASA, so Air Services Australia. Each one of them's custom designed. They've got 4 20-person life rafts on each one, and they're stationed at various airports, mostly up in Queensland and up north. So, and then when the recreational side, it's people who own properties waterfront or close to, and they just don't want any hassle for launching and retrieving their boats.
Having your own slipway, boat ramp, whatever you want.
No tractors, no trailers, no arguments with the wife.
Fair enough. And so, what kind of speed do you get out of them?
So on water they perform as any normal boat. So it comes related to the outboard,
all the way out of the
completely clear of the water. On land, 7.5k per hour.
Enough to get up the beach.
So we are well and truly, and you've got 30 minutes of run time inside every hour. So you do the math, and you can kind of get about 3 kilometres away from the beach, which is starting to get a fair distance.
And so, what limits that run time?
So it's mostly around the cooling. So we've got a
oil temperature for the hydraulics.
For the hydraulics and also the inboard motor itself. So we've got a couple of warning systems on there. But 30 minutes inside every hour, not a problem.
Exactly. Particularly for, as you say, launching or getting through a shallow. So say if you're in a flood situation, you can get to a shallow section, drive across it, relaunches the boat. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. We've got 35 boats just in Malaysia, for example, that are in various flood rescue. Because obviously water that deep, a boat doesn't work properly, and then
car doesn't work.
So, but sea legs, ideal.
All right, nice. And so you're saying that you guys actually also manufacture a boat. You don't just fit to other people's boats.
So yeah, correct. And that's how we started.
Right. And is there anything special about your boat that makes it more suited to having the sea legs than perhaps a Stabbycraft or whatever you got?
There's a little bit, because obviously our boats were designed for the system. Whereas something like the Stabbycraft is a Stabbycraft and Sixman boat that we've gone and adapted. Now, not to say that it's gone bad, it certainly hasn't. But you know, when you start from scratch, there is always a little bit of an advantage.
Exactly.
So that little pump there is providing oil down to that block at the back there. So that's a lift block, so that's providing our legs up and down. So then through the middle here, through this block on the side, that's our drive block. So, and that's where the oil's going to the wheel motors for forwards and backwards. So hydraulic tank reservoir, radiator oil cooler. So on the return to the tank, and then we've got an alternator down the side there. Because this obviously chews quite a bit of power. What you can't see under the back there is there's a whole lot of fans as well. So we need to be able to generate enough electricity
as well.
So that's the control panel for the sea legs. So start at key ignition exactly the same as you'd start a car.
For the petrol motor,
So and then you've got your controls for your legs up and down. So and likewise your joystick for your forwards and your backwards. So and those are the warning lights that I was mentioning earlier. So but you should never see those come on. I've only ever seen it once in my life.
And the helm is the same for the drives by the front wheel, does it?
So when you turn the steering wheel, you're turning the outboard and you're turning the front wheel at the same time. So when you're actually out on the water, that front wheel's lifted up underneath the bow there, and it just goes from side to side. So from here you can't even see it.
Can't even see it. Perfect. Nice.
After a big day of wandering around the halls, I started heading back towards the exit, where I bumped into an old friend called John. He actually took over my role at Maritime when I left, and now he's the poster boy. I decided it was a good opportunity to get an autograph from him.
There you go, sir.
I'll treasure it forever.
Stay safe out there, Stu.
Thanks, Stu. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I did. Next week I'll be back in the workshop and we'll finish off the green machine and get that back in the water, so I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Anyway, thanks again. Take care. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. See ya.